It's a fast food empire that symbolizes America for millions around the world, McDonald's. But these aren't the best of times for the Golden Arches. McDonald's sales and its stock price have slipped badly. So it's been experimenting with a build-your-own burger program on the West Coast. And Bloomberg News says that may soon be expanded. Mike Regan is an editor-at-large at Bloomberg News. Mike, good morning.
Oh, good morning.
You've got, Burger King's slogan was "Have it your way." Now we've got McDonald's trying it. What does that suggest? What's going on?
Well, basically what they're planning to do is have, and they've started this with about 4 restaurants in California and plan to test it on a few more soon, is have a touch screen. Instead of interacting with an actual human, you'll go through and you'll click on, okay, I'd like this type of cheese, this type of bun, and then there'll be 20-some toppings to choose from, jalapenos and guacamole, bacon. And it's not unprecedented. Actually, in the Philadelphia area, the big convenience store chain is Wawa, and that's how you build your hoagie down there. It's not a sub down there. It's a hoagie.
It's a hoagie.
And, it's the same concept. So, they're testing it out. Obviously, there's some risks because, if you go in there, you go to McDonald's for fast food, obviously, and if you go in there and you get behind some guy who's like, ooh, do I want, cheddar or do I want Swiss?
Right.
So there's a risk that way. And there's also the risk of, 22 toppings. Someone could make a burger that doesn't taste very good, and then they eat it and have walk away with a bad experience. So they're not, quite ready to roll it out to all 35,000 stores yet. They're, starting on a small scale and testing it out.
It's interesting to see that it takes years to develop some of these ideas internally. I want to ask you, though, about basically the background. McDonald's has been down for 4 straight months. They say that's the worst stretch since 2003. Is this experiment, do they really think it's going to bring them back up?
Well, as they say in their earnings release to Wall Street, they have a broad base of challenges. This is one attempt to sort of, refocus on their core product, the burger. And a lot of the competition they're facing these days, the big success story over the last decade has been Chipotle. And,
which ironically enough, McDonald's used to own.
McDonald's owned Chipotle. They spun it out to the public, sold the stock for $22 a share in 2006. Stock's at about $660 now, so a 3,000% gain. So they're probably wishing they could have a mulligan on that one, yeah.
But it's also interesting because Chipotle, I think, has really branded itself to us as the consumers as this really natural, all of the ingredients are good for you and taken from good sources.
That's right. And also you have a choice, and that's maybe what McDonald's is looking at. You have a choice there. You can have, this type of bean, do I want salsa or not? When you go through and pick each item out. And, it's believed that there is, some value in that other...
Mike, how much of this is the result of a trend, do you think, among millennials, particularly to eat healthier?
It's absolutely a big part of the trend, yeah, and all the analysts will tell you that for sure.
What do you think that McDonald's would look like if they hadn't sold Chipotle back in 2006?
Well, it's an interesting question. It'd make a great business school case study. Would Chipotle have the success that it's had under, the McDonald's regime, which is, a very structured, they do it their way. So it's a great question. Maybe Chipotle needed to be independent to have the success they have.
This isn't McDonald's only problem either. They've got problems in Russia where the Russians are making them a political football in effect, and also in China, right, Mike?
In China, yeah, they had a real bad decline in sales in Asia this summer because of actually one of their meat suppliers was accused of tampering with the expiration dates on the meat. And it just, it scared a lot of people away. Also, a lot of problems with labor. There's a very aggressive campaign to unionize all of the McDonald's workers. And, McDonald's would like to, portray it as 90% of their stores in the U.S. are franchises. So to McDonald's, they're saying, look, this is really a collection of small businesses. It's not a big conglomerate. Where the National Labor Relations Board said, no, it's a big conglomerate. These people should be able to unionize and collectively bargain with McDonald's.
22 options is certainly an interesting idea, though. Mike Regan, thank you so much.
Thank you.